In this program, we're going to be going online with the Siemens S7 300 CPU with the MPI cable.
We're going to start by loading our cable and making sure that it comes up under the correct USB settings. Open up your control panel, hardware and sound, and device manager. Plug in your USB cable. Notice we have two different types of cables for the Siemens 300 and 400 series. One will show up under ports, which is a cheaper version, but it works very good. Or there's actually two that'll show up as a Siemens PC adapter USB. This one that we're going to be using today is showing up as the USB adapter. Now let's open up our Siemens We're going to be using version 5.5. This is a Windows 7 32-bit machine. This was a previous program that we had already developed. We'll probably close that down. Let's just open up and show you how to connect to a new one directly from the beginning. So you can go to Options, Set GPC Interface, and what we're going to want to be on is the PC Adapter Properties, and this is where you select the different COM ports or USB. In this particular case, we're going to be USB. Leave this all as a default setting if your CPU is a default. Most are going to be. Okay. So now let's click on the accessible nodes, which is the third icon over. It'll scan, and then this will be a list of the nodes that we have available, and it'll give you different addresses if you have more than one. And these here are going to be the blocks that are inside the CPU. Typically you would see an OB1 if there's going to be an actual program inside of there and that's actually running. I've switched over another CPU so I could show you what the OB1 looks like because I think it's important. If you're just going online with a CPU and you did not have the program, the way to get into the main part of the ladder is going to be OB1, Organizational Block 1. If you double click on it, we don't have the program loaded, so that's why it's given it this. This is the actual program that's inside the CPU. To go online with the CPU, you can click up here, Monitor, and this is an STL, so it's in this statement. Offline. So now what we'll do, let's open up the project. I think I already have it here. Make the screen a little bit bigger. I'm keeping the screen smaller so you can have a better view on the YouTube video. If I made it too big, then you wouldn't be able to see it, or see all the edges. At least it'd be cut off. Here you can go into the hardware configuration of the CPU or of the rack that you're connected to, and in the program. So this is actually on the PC, the program on the PC. Address 2 is our CPU, and then here starts at 0 and 0 for the inputs and outputs. The reason it's an input and output, it's a combination card. So 8 digital in and 8 digital out, 24 volt. This is actually a configurable card that's on our trainers, and you can have up to 16 in or you can have 16 out. And you can add obviously another card to have, multiples in, but it's just a manual selector switch that's a toggle switch. So on our trainers that we have 8 manual toggle switches for our 8 inputs, and then use the LEDs for our 8 outputs. And this is how you would download to the rack for the hardware configuration. And this would be upload from it. So now here we only have one block because this is where our actual program is. Let's open it up. And I'm going to change this over from a view from STL to ladder. This first network was wrote in STL, and in this configuration cannot be converted to ladder. The second network, was actually wrote in STL, but in the correct format, so it can be converted over. So if you go up here back to view and you change this back to STL, if you write it like this in the correct format, you have to write a couple extra things in there. Then you can actually convert it from STL to ladder. So now let's download this program to the CPU. OB1 already exists, and do we want to overwrite it? Yes, we do. Unable to copy block OB1. Doesn't say here, but the reasoning because the key switch is in run. So if you turn the key switch to stop, or you can do it with the software, and if you're in, you can go to stop there. Now let's download again. Yes. Okay, so now we've downloaded the program to it. Let's look at the view. And what we will do is turn the key switch back to run now. What this timer is doing, with this being true, this being not, because this is the actual output of this, this is opening up every 100 milliseconds, so every second. It's closing this branch up here, and this may not update fast enough to actually see it in the RLO. This is going true for one scan every second, and then it drops back out, and then it performs the rest of this logic. And basically what it's doing is just taking a number 1 and adding it to a word, and then transferring that word to our output word of 0 here. This is the address 0. So it's actually doing a binary move of 1 to this word. And I will take a video of the CPU and show you what it's doing on the lights itself. If you have any questions, let me know. Hope this answers your going online with the Siemens. Thanks, and have a good day.
So this is the card I was referring to. It's a 3742XH01. And you'll notice that when you turn the switch to the off position, the LEDs on the top stop running, and that means the program is stopping the logic. If you turn it to the on position, then the LEDs start moving again, and it's adding a numerical value of 1 to that output word for every 1 millisecond. You should go back and take a look